Alright guys, so today we're going to continue with the theme of creating Twitter's backend with a Rails API. Alright, so previously we set up one table. This time we're going to set up the tweet table. We're going to do a migration of both tables. We're going to set up associations and the models. We're going to go to the console really quick, create some users, and then we're going to relaunch our local host server, and we're going to look at the information up on the browser. Alright, something I want to clear up the last time I did was that I thought I couldn't find the rag course gem on the gem file, and I put it here myself. Well, it's here. Boom. And I totally forgot about it. But yeah, still a mistake. Yeah, cool. Alright, so now before I actually create the other table, let's look at the schema that we have, well, the tables that we have right now. So we're here on the database, DB, migrate. These are the tables that we gotta migrate. This is the first one, and we gotta create a second one. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. And this is the only table that we have right now. So we're gonna go ahead, create our second table, and we're working with Rails API 6. So first we gotta say Rails G Scaffold. Is that how you even spell scaffold? I forget. We're gonna call it tweet, right? So it's gonna have content, and we don't have to say if it's a string or not, because it's automatically gonna take that table, that row as a string, and we gotta give it the user ID. We need this user because it's gonna tell who was the person that tweeted it. So integer. I would say integer by mistake. Yeah. So these are the only two columns that we need for the table of tweet. We go ahead and we say, I mean, as long as I spell scaffold correct, we should be good. Oh, how about that? Yes, I did spell it correct. I usually do a lot of misspellings. All right, cool. So that was good. So now we're gonna go ahead and just migrate this whole thing. I'm just gonna say Rails DB migrate. Boom. Hopefully I didn't do a misspelling there, because I always tend to misspell Rails, and I say Rails or RL ILS IAIS. Yeah, anyways, enough rambling. So now we have our schema right here. We didn't have this file before, so boom, throw it up here, and these are our tables all set up. Cool, awesome. So now essentially I could right now set up my associations. I could, but I kind of want to leave that for the end, because there's something interesting about the associations, the way it's created. Well, actually, there's going to be another step that we need to take before we even see the displaying of our information. So let's go ahead and just set up the see, I thought in this video I could probably set you up with associations. I think that won't be the case. I could do the associations, but you won't actually see it in action. So let's go ahead and just create some users. We're gonna say Rails. We're gonna go into the console, and we're just gonna say we need a user, right? So we're gonna say user dot create. Let me spell that correctly. See, there's some spelling right there. User dot create. What do we need? Need a username. So let's call him Rocky. That was my dog's name. Phone num. That's how I spell it, right? Phone num. Yeah, I should have done the same thing for username with a camel toe. Yeah, I do some dumb stuff sometimes. Here's where you can learn not to do these mistakes. So 202, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and since it's an integer, you don't have to put it in quotes. Yeah, I like that. So we're gonna say email is gonna equal to, this is a string, So rocky@email.com. Yeah. Password is also a string, so we're gonna have to put in quotes, and I'm just gonna say Rocky for now. We're just creating a fake user. Let's see if it creates. If not, that'd be embarrassing. Okay. So we have a user. Great. So let's say user, just to be sure, .all. We have user.all. We have one user. All right. So now we're gonna create a fake tweet. Same thing, same concept. Tweet dot create. We're gonna say. See, I already forgot. What do we need? Oh, it's content. It has content. It's a string, so we have to put in quotes and say my first tweet. Cool, right? So that's it. Oh, well, no, actually we need a user ID, and this right here is this little, we're gonna use this number 1. That we essentially, it's Rocky. So we gotta say your user ID for this tweet, for this content, the person who created it is Rocky. ID, user ID number 1. So we just go ahead and we say 1, boom. It's an integer, no string. It's good, but we got to put a comma after every single information that we put into a string for the column, for the row, I mean. And let's hope it works. And we have a tweet. Let's say tweet.all. Let's see what we got. We got one tweet ID number 1, content my first tweet, and the user ID of 1. This is Rocky right here, don't forget. But it has its own ID, which is number 1, which is fine. It's good. We need that information. So at this point, this is how you create, how you migrate a table, okay, you know what? I'm gonna give you the associations. Let's go for it. Let's do this. Okay. So associations are very simple. Actually, it's very complicated. So complicated. I'm kidding. Well, what's happening in an association is that we're getting a few extra methods for our models, for them to, I guess, interact. But other than that, though, I guess that's the simplest way of putting it. So what's happening right here? First, we're going to start with our user. So for this API, we want to tell the API that, hey, you have some tweets. We want to tell it that tweet belongs to a user. So I'm gonna go ahead and look at the local host when I launch my Rails server and see. We're gonna check what happens with our Rails server. So we're gonna go to a local host 3000. All right, well, I need 2 dots right there. Okay, so we're on Rails and we have a users. Okay, great, cool. Okay, yes, perfect. So it's working. We have our information up on our API. However, though, I want to show it to you in a different screen. Bam. You'll see why I want to show you with this one. It's a little bit more neatly set up. So if we go to also the same thing, but this time we're gonna go set up our tweets. Boom, we have one tweet, and bam, that's our API sending information right there. but we could, however, send information associated with one another. This, at that point, is when we are going to need our active model serializers. They're already up and running, but we have to do a little more setting up with that. However, I will give you a little rundown on the associations. At this point, the user has a tweet, and this tweet needs to be told that it belongs to a user. So the user has many, what does it have? Oh, can't even spell. Has many, has to be lowercase tweets. Yeah, that's it. Boom. Actually, no, I did an error. Has many tweets. Is that how I did it? I already forgot. Yeah. I just checked. And their tweet belongs to just one user. So belongs to one user. And that's it. That's our relationship. Now there's about 14 new methods that we just got, with telling the tweet that it belongs to a user, and with telling the user that it has many tweets. But next we're gonna talk about how to display those relationships in our API up here. Because see, right now all you see is the information, but you don't see the relationship. We just told the API that Rocky has many tweets, so we should see an array in here of a lot of tweets that belong to Rocky, but we don't see that yet. Well, I'm gonna leave that for the next video, where we set up our active model serializers and we get to see the relationships up here on the browser of the API. All right. So right now, a quick little rundown of what we did. We created our second table. Let's go take a look at it. We went to our database. We created our schema, both tables. We had two tables to migrate, bam and bam. We did a scaffold. We did a Rails DB migrate. We set up associations, and we created some fake users so we can see them on the browser, and we launched them with Rails Rails server. So that was it for now. I'll see you in the next video for active model serializers. Peace.